Let's first give a brief overview of the GRS Super Joystick specific wiring harness. This harness has 12 0.11-inch female terminals and can simultaneously connect up to 12 buttons with 0.11-inch terminals from the joystick's GPIO. There's also a 5-piece socket for connecting the 2-in-1 button. And there's a ground wire with 12 0.11-inch female terminals that can be connected to buttons with 0.11-inch terminals. Now, let's start by connecting the terminals of the 6 buttons on the controller. One terminal of each button must be grounded, and the other terminal must be connected to the joystick's GPIO. Let's first connect the ground wires of each button to the buttons on the controller. At this point, all button ground wires are connected. We can push the rubber protective sleeves on the terminals towards the button terminals, which will protect the terminals from easily contacting other conductors and causing short circuits. Now we start connecting the joystick's GPIO. In this video, we'll only use GPIO 1 to 6 of the joystick. We first plug in GPIO 1. Plug in GPIO 2. Then plug in GPIO 3. GPIO 4. GPIO 5. Lastly, GPIO 6. Now the wiring for the 6 buttons on the controller is complete. We need to check and make sure that each terminal is installed properly. Now, the 5-piece socket on the wiring harness can be plugged into the 2-in-1 button socket. There are 2 protrusions on this 5-piece socket, which need to align with the 2 grooves on the button socket. After aligning, plug the 5-piece socket into the socket at the bottom of the 2-in-1 button. At this point, the connection for the 2-in-1 button is complete. Pick up the other end of the wire with the 18-piece socket. Plug it into the 18-piece socket on the side of the joystick. Then, let's organize the wiring, bunching it neatly together. Bring out the tie wrap and use it to bind the wires together. Use needle nose pliers to cut off the excess tie wrap. Please note that these unused wires and terminals are provided for users to connect more buttons if necessary. We won't use them here, so we'll bundle them together. Lastly, let's connect the USB cable. Our GRS Super Joystick controller is made up of a top cover and a base. We need to pass the USB cable through the cable outlets of both parts and put the cover on, ensuring a perfect fit. First, thread the Type-C end of the USB cable through the hole on the side of the controller's top cover. After threading it through, pull the Type-C connector a bit towards the inside of the box. Then, continue threading the Type-C connector through the hole on the side of the base. Now, thread it through the base. The USB cable has now been threaded through both the top cover and the base. Now, insert the USB Type-C into the USB port on the side of the joystick. The USB cable is now connected. At this point, all the wiring is complete, but to prevent the USB cable from being easily pulled and damaged, we'll add another tie wrap here on the USB cable. There are 4 tie wrap holes on the bottom plastic plate of the joystick. We will thread the tie wrap through one of these holes and bind the USB cable and joystick bottom hole together, pulling it tight. Check to make sure the tie wrap is tight enough and won't easily be pulled loose. Then, use the needle nose pliers to cut off the excess tie wrap. At this point, we can put the base and top cover of the controller together. As you can see, everything looks good now. Finally, we need to install the cable clip on this hole. Take out the cable clip. Use the cable clip to hold the USB cable. Then, while keeping the cable clamped, push the clip forcefully into the hole. The installation of the cable clip is now complete. Now, all the wiring for the GRS Super Joystick controller is complete, which also means the entire controller is now complete. You can plug the USB into your computer or game console, and start playing games with this controller. Game on!